Shall we start? Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tas. Advaita bodhabja sahasra rashmihi shanter ladaya kila kalpa vriksha samsara santapa vinasha chandraha Krishna sada kladakaro mamastu Krishna sada kladakaro mamastu. May Krishna become delight producer, delightful to me. This is the last line of this hymn. Krishna sada ahladakaro mamastu. This is what every one of you should aspire to be and should be. Lord Krishna means what? All the words of wisdom uttered by him should become so exhilarating, inspiring, delightful and blissful to us. It will be so, provided you can spend time and attune yourselves to the words, the meaning, the spirit, the purpose, the sublimity of what he said. Advaita bodhabja sahasra rashmihi shanter ladaya kila kalpa vriksha samsara santapa vinasha chandraha Krishna sada ahladakaro mamastu. Madhya hridaya kashe sadanandamayo guru udetu satatam samyak swatmananda prabodhakaha. Hari, Hari, Hari Om Tas. Now we shall have 3 times chorus recitation of the auspicious monosyllable Omkara, thereby enhance the longevity of your heart and the efficiency and reach of your brain. There are some special glands which will be activated by the utterance of Om, and the secretions of these glands will contribute to a great deal to your health and inner spiritual brilliance. While chanting the auspicious monosyllable, have in your mind the specific thought and intention that the chorus recitation should spread upon the earth completely and shower its benedictory vibrations on all creatures on the earth. This is a sankalpa, a determination that the human being alone can make on this globe, in this globe. Interlock your fingers, put them on your lap, sit comfortably erect, close your eyes, open the mouth and heart and join me. I propose to discuss and teach about 4 or 5 verses today. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
If I start speaking, then we will have lesser time to learn. Yesterday I was speaking about the specific promises that Krishna makes during the war dialogue that he had with Arjuna. These promises come to you as between a first person and a second person. Krishna is giving the promise to Arjuna. And sometimes he says, Arjuna, you swear on my behalf. You swear on my behalf for the rest of the world. At other times he says, I myself swear. These differences are very subtle. The one line that I told you yesterday was, Kaunteya pradijanihi name bhakta pranashyadi. For my devotee, there is no destruction or downfall either on this earth, this earthly world, or in the higher worlds. Why speak much? Anybody who intends to do good, intends to do benefit, help for the others, he will never have a downfall. So doing good to others is extremely important. Your life will not be human at all, worth mentioning, unless you incorporate in your mind some thought and concern for the welfare of the others. Suppose you look after your family, you are doing maximum your duty and compulsion. Oh, I look after my family. Government is saved from its burden, that's all. We cannot call you a good or a noble person. If you are to be good and a noble person, naturally you will have to feel for the others. As am I and my family, so are the rest of the families. As are my children, so are the others. So the birth of a child in a family should instantly expand and enlarge the heart of the parents. Does it take place, if you ask me? I don't think it takes place. You can yourself find out. If the expansion doesn't take place, then you are guilty. You are less than a good and a noble human. What for are we living in this world? Our Subhashitam proverbial statement says, Paropakararthamidam shariram. This very body is meant for helping and benefiting the others. Paropakaraya satam vibhutayaha. Paropakaraya. Only for the sake of benefiting others, sadam, of noble and good souls, vibhutayaha. The prosperity and the resources they have are only meant for helping the others. I will recite, you follow me. Paropakaraya
Paropakaraya
satam vibhutayaha
Satam vibhutayaha
Paropakaraya
Paropakaraya
satam vibhutayaha
Satam vibhutayaha
Paropakaraya satam vibhutayaha
Paropakaraya satam vibhutayaha
Paropakarartham
Paropakarartham
idam shariram
Idam shariram
Paropakarartham
Paropakarartham
idam shariram
Idam shariram
Paropakarartham idam shariram
Paropakarartham idam shariram.
This very body is meant for the use of others, for the service of others. I always say when an institution or an ashram is set up, I like to tell my devotees and seekers that you consider that it is my body. Just like the whole temple is the body of the idol. The body of the idol extends to the extremities of the temple boundary, the outer diameter of the temple boundary wall. It is so much extensive. That is why the moment you step into the temple, good devotees will start chanting the name of the Lord. You should not have any family or domestic discussions within the temple. We go there to have an atmosphere, to breathe an air. Totally different from what we have in our secular life and in the household. So a temple is a full contrast to the house. The moment you go there, you should be in a different world. Chant the name of God loudly or silently and go on circumambulating in the temple. We have some temples in India which are very huge. In Thrissur, the hometown of our ashram, there is a Shiva temple. It is 20 acres of land. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's an important announcement. 3 cars will need to be reparked. These are the number plates. WGS 8729. WGS 8729. WB 2030H. WB 2030H and WSD 1987. WSD 1987. Dave is here and he will assist you to repark. Thank you, Swamiji.
20 acres of land. Can you imagine to circumambulate once in the temple? How much time will it take? It is supposed to give you very good air. There is the peepal tree will always be there in a temple. The peepal tree is traditionally held to be generating oxygen in the day as well as night. One tree is sufficient to give oxygen to the whole village in a large measure. Everything that we have developed in the form of a culture, tradition and legacy, everything is scientific, promoting our health, equally reinforcing our mind, enlightening our intelligence. Every practice, the manner in which we spread the leaf before us for having our food, the manner in which every item is to be served, you will find there is a lot of scientificness there. You prepare 5 or 6 items and go and serve them in any manner you like. No. If there are sour and non-sour items, a non-sour item should be served first and close to it should be a sour item. Suppose a non-sour item is close to it, they will mix each other and taste will not be distinguished. And when you take food, the broader part of the leaf should be on your right side, because we are right-handers. For us to then pour liquid items like sambar, etc., you must have sufficient space. Everything is scientific. Do you know, in a traditional feast, we don't serve food. Those times there was nothing like a table, chair, etc. It was on the floor. They will clean the floor. But any floor, you have to step over it and then sit. So what they do is, the mistress of the house brings some water, and the man who sits in front of the leaf lifts it up. She pours a little water, and the master of the house smears the water underneath the leaf. Then only items are served on it. What do you think of the hygiene we Indians have? When did the Westerners think of washing the teeth, washing the mouth after meals? When did they think? Even now, do they have a tongue cleaner? I doubt. What are you saying? Our sense of hygiene is greatly appreciable. Paropakararthamidam shariram paropakaraya satam vibhudaya. Enlightenment is the greatest persuasion for a human. Enlightenment is the greatest persuasion for a human. Nothing else. You give him the right knowledge. That is what happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So far as Arjuna was concerned, Krishna delivered the right wisdom, instilled it into the intelligence of Arjuna. When Arjuna heard 64 letters uttered by Krishna, his tears stopped and he posed as an enquirer before Krishna. Just see the magic effect of it. So here he says, Partha naivehana mutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyana kritkashid durgadim tata gacchadi. Go ahead. Lift it up. Yes, yes. No, this is not the one. It is 640. This is the slogan. Parthanaiveghana mutra
Parthanaiveghanamutra
vinashastasya vidyate
Vinashastasya vidyate
nahi kalyana kritkashchid
Nahi kalyana kritkashchit
durgadim tata gacchati
Durgatim tata gacchati
durgadim tata gacchati.
Durgatim tata gacchati.
This SIRD, Society for Inner Resources Development, IRD, this is set up for what? We have purchased a place of land, including a building, renovated it considerably. Why is it? So that people can come here with freedom. You cannot assemble in somebody's house with freedom. So with enough of freedom, you can meet, come here, spend your time, discuss matters, evolve something that is useful to yourself as well as the society. It is a society. That societal part should be always in your mind. So whenever a center is established, I always say, consider that it is my body. The world is the body of God. Other than the world, God has no body at all. Anything that you deal with or use in the world, you should consider that it is the body of God. Body of God. Do everything to preserve the health of the world, well-being of the world, the resourcefulness of the world. That is what we should always do. So I think you should come here, spend physically time. You are coming here and spending physical time will be the austerity coordinate in your life. It takes time and effort to come here. It takes time and effort to be spending some time here. Read books, close your eyes and meditate. If any point spiritual can be discussed between those who are here, that is also welcome. But consider, this place should be impregnated with austerity, spirituality, with spiritual splendor. Our body can emit only heat, but our mind and intelligence can radiate the spiritual inner splendor. Understand it very well. Nahi kalyana kritkashchid durgadim tata gacchadi. Many people have helped and contributed to setting up this place. All of them have done kalyana krit. what they have done is something good, with a good intention. Anybody who does good, who intends to do good, he says he will never have a downfall. It's a great assurance that Krishna gives. This I already taught you. So I will go to the next verse. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchadi kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyadi. Kshipram.
Kshipram.
It was already there. 641. No, 931. Huh? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Oh, you can make it a little louder. What is this? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. This is actually, can you show the earlier verse? 930. This is the verse. Many people are asking, am I ripe? For what? Huh? About their marriage, they will never say, am I ripe to marry? Am I ripe to become a parent? Nobody inquires like that. But when it comes to a question of entering into spirituality or picking up devotion in all earnestness, they will say, am I ripe? See what Krishna says. Abhichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. Take of a man who is extremely wicked, vicious. Even he, if he decides to worship me exclusively, he becomes virtuous, he says. I don't know whether you are following me. No, I am not happy. Even if the worst man, worst of vicious and wicked people, if they begin to worship me, that resolution is something great, good and noble. He has to be considered virtuous. Very soon he becomes a Mahatma, Dharmatma, Shashvachantim nigacchadi. He attains perpetual peace. Good and noble people will not take to exclusive worship of Lord. They will postpone it. But the wicked man has a sense of guilt, as a result of which he takes to devotion and holds on to it 100%. So I sometimes feel it is better to be a little vicious. These virtuous people, they are so complacent that they never try to improve their fate. I am everything, I have look after my family, children are good, everybody is good, I am also good. This is the type of complacency they have. They never think. So he says, Even if he is a wicked man, if he starts worshipping me exclusively, that makes him virtuous. Very soon he becomes a dharmatma and he attains peace. Now this is the next verse. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchadi. Therefore, Arjuna, Kaunteya, Kunti Putra, the son of Kunti, Pratijanihi, on my behalf, you go and swear. He asks Arjuna to swear. Name bhakta pranashyadi. My devotee never perishes any time, anywhere. Are you devotees? Oh, you have to ask somebody. Tell me whether you are devotees or not.
Yes.
Do you love God?
Yes.
Are you devoted to Him?
Yes.
Do you remember Him?
Yes.
Do you want Him to own you up?
Yes.
Do you want Him to look after you?
Yes.
Do you want Him to lead you to the superb brilliance and contentment?
Yes.
That is sufficient. God doesn't ask you to do anything in particular. He says, whatever you do, remember me and do. Not do and then remember. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Mam anusmara. Say. Yudhyacha.
Yudhyacha.
Remember me. Huh? Remember me. And fight. Not fight and remember me. Whatever you do, you do. But you do remembering me. Remembering me. All that He wants you to do is this. Full freedom is given. Whatever you propose to do, you do. But do it remembering me. When you start remembering God, you know what happens, why Krishna is so assured? This remembrance is an act of the mind. The mind is closer to us than the body. Do you understand? So when the link is established in the mind, the actions of the body will automatically be filtered and be auspicious. So that remembrance is the insurance for you. Remember me and fight. So, Kaunteya pradijanihi name bhakta pranashyadi. This is the first assurance that you get from Krishna. He is asking Arjuna to swear on his behalf. Whoever intends to do good will never have a downfall in his life. So you tell me, my dear souls, what is the real insurance for our life? Insurance for our life. It is doing good, remembering God. These are the two insurances that will sufficiently look after your life. No expenditure is there. No premium is to be paid. Remember God. Remember God. Try to do good. At least wish and feel for doing good. So I will recite this, make you recite this verse again. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma.
Shashvachantim nigacchati.
Shashvachantim nigacchati.
Kaunteya pratijanihi.
Kaunteya pratijanihi.
Name bhakta pranashyadi.
Name bhakta pranashyati.
Name bhakta pranashyadi.
Name bhakta pranashyati.
Name bhakta pranashyadi.
Name bhakta pranashyati.
Kaunteya pratijanihi.
Kaunteya pratijanihi.
Name bhakta pranashyadi.
Name bhakta pranashyati.
Name bhakta pranashyadi.
Name bhakta pranashyati.
We will go to verse number 922. This is a verse which is generally recited on all holy, ceremonial and religious occasions. Though it's a verse appearing in Bhagavad Gita, which was written as well as said more than 5,000 years ago, in India you will find any kind of an august assembly, particularly a ceremonial occasion, this sloka is recited. This is how our culture has percolated into the society. And you will find it right from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, Assam to Gujarat. Everywhere you will find it. How India was able to reach this education to all the corners of the subcontinent is still a mystery. What was the methodology they adopted in order to reach the message everywhere, in every corner, even in villages? It is something that people have to find out. I don't know whether any thinkers or even the government will try to find out how they were able to reach this. How to disseminate knowledge to such an extent. A Ramayana was not merely written. A Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavata were not merely written. The written text was taught, was imparted, was disseminated, so that hundreds, thousands and millions of people began to read. Is it possible to circulate a literature in this manner? You think about it. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyah chintayanto mam Ananyah chintayanto mam Ananyas chintayanto mam. Are you able to pronounce it? Huh? Because I bombard your brain. Ye janah paryupasate ye janah paryupasate Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nitya abhiyuktanam nityabhiyuktanam tesham nityabhiyuktanam tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham yogakshemam vahamyaham. Louda sollanam. You should hear your voice. Generate the voice and hear it. When you generate the voice and hear, do you know? The sound vibrations directly go back and touch the brain. Can you imagine the effect? It produces delight. Ananyashchintayanto mam
Ananyashchintayanto mam
ye janaha paryupasate
Ye janaha paryupasate
tesham nityabhiyuktanam
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam
yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
See, Krishna gives a direct assurance himself. What is the assurance? Aham vahami. I bear, I look after, I ensure. What? Yoga Kshema. Say that.
Yoga Kshema.
This has become the culture of our country. Generally people say, I met my friend and I immediately inquired about his Yoga Kshema, they will say. In common parlance. The word Yoga and Kshema have great meaning. Kshema means looking after whatever you have now. It is welfare. Yoga means whatever is additionally required for your life, providing that. In the first word, there is no addition. It's only preservation of whatever you have. The next is additional enrichment so that your life will progress and gain fulfillment. So one is to look after whatever you have. You don't have to take further insurance for it. This is the insurance. Yoga means in terms of persons, places, events, opportunities, occasions, resources, friends, well-wishers. Whatever is necessary will come to you. Yoga Kshemam. I look after it, he says. Vahamyaham. The word vahami means carry, just like a load on your head or shoulder. So I carry the devotee's welfare. And whatever additional enrichment he needs, I provide it. For whom? For whom? Ananyashchintayanto mam. Mam means me. Chintayantaha. Who think, deliberate, remember, reflect upon, introspect over me. We have a mind to think. Intelligence to introspect. So sometimes you should introspect over God. Mostly you can remember Him. Remembering is different from introspection. You remember God by a name or by some instance, there is no effort on your part. But when you introspect, there is a deliberateness in trying to understand and relate matters. Now this sloka, you may introspect. What does Krishna mean by saying, I ensure their yoga kshema? Krishna is gone. He is not alive. But he still says he will look after our yoga kshema. What is the authority? What is the truthfulness in the words of Krishna? Is it merely a belief or is there anything more? This is a very lofty introspection. I don't know whether you will ever take it up. Ananyashchintayantaha mam. Those people who are unbrokenly thinking about me. Ye janaha paryupasade. Those people who worship me, seeing me everywhere. It is one thing to go to a temple, look at an idol. Poor idol doesn't see you. He doesn't know whether you have gone there or not. But you feel he is God. So that God is a superimposition from your own mind. And what are you looking at? A small idol. This side is not God, this side is not God. Only. But God is universally present. He is present everywhere. By looking at an idol, you deliberately force yourself to miss him everywhere, except in the small idol. Tell me, are you wise or fool? Boliye na thoda. Why don't you admit to yourself, I am a fool? Your idea is to look at God. God is a universal presence, and you are looking at an idol. When God is here, that means He is nowhere else. And how long will you remain in the temple and look at the idol? For a few seconds or minutes? But the day consists of 24 hours minus 8 hours of sleep. 1020 minutes you are wakeful in a day. So the only way you can be connected to God is to relate Him to your mind and thoughts and feelings. Shall I feel that you have understood the message? Yes. Huh? Yes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Connect Him to your mind, my dear souls. Connect Him to your mind. Let every thought reflect the presence of God. Our mind cannot think. It thinks because of God, because of the indwelling presence. Ananyas-chintayantaha. Exclusively, whoever thinks about me, remembers me, reflects upon me, introspects over me, and sees me everywhere, all around, as they will see in an idol. For such people, nityabhiyuktanam, they become incessantly, unbrokenly, continuously, ceaselessly related to me, connected to me. Such well-connected people, for them, I provide the yoga and kshema in their life. Let them not worry about it. Don't even tell God, my dear God, please do this for me. No reminder is required for God. You may remind your dog, but not God. Are you with me?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Reminding God? By reminding God, you are making Him less than a human. There is an English proverb, before you speak, I hear. Before you knock, I open. Far or forgot, to me is near. Shadow and sunlight are the same. When me they fly, I am the wings. Have you heard this poem? Far or forgot, to me is near. Shadow and sunlight are the same. When me they fly, I am the wings. This is the description of God, my dear souls. Don't apply human standards and make God a human. Ananyas-chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga-kshemam vahamyaham. I want this message to radiate from this center. Come every day, or at least as many days as possible. Do austerity here. What is the austerity? Physically coming here and being present here. Close your eyes and sit. Read a book if you want. Chant the name of God. Think about Him. Reflect upon Him. Make inquiry. Investigate. Find out what is your inner personality. What is meant by inner resources and developing the inner resources. Where are these resources? The biological heart has only blood. The biological lungs have only oxygen. What about the knowledge we have, emotions we have, feelings we have, thoughts and memories we have, inquiry we have? These are not products of matter, muscle, bone or marrow. There is something different from the body. The inner presence consciousness, it animates the body and activates the body. Your body is made up of matter. It is inert, insentient. It is able to live and move only because of the inner presence animating it. That inner presence is functioning as mind. When it does meditation, it is called the mind. When it does intellection, it is called the intellect. There is nothing separately as an intelligence, separately as a mind. Mind and intelligence and ego are functional names. not substantive names. Nothing, nothing. Understand it. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. So I want you to be connected to God. Where will you connect Him? To your body? Connect Him to your mind. Connect Him to your thought. Connect Him to your intelligence. Think of Him. Remember Him. Fondly. Reflect upon Him. Inquire into Him. Introspect over Him. Think about the various qualities that God has. These qualities are discovered, identified and attributed by us. So who is the creator of these qualities? God or man? All the vocabulary that you have, has it proceeded from God or from you? Who sees the alphabet? The word God who made? The word world who made? So is there any word that has come down from God? So your words and your vocabulary you have to explain. So introspect over it. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. This is the greatest insurance that you can ever think of having, possessing with no premium at all. Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ye janaah paryupasate.
Ye janaah paryupasate.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Have you got it? Huh? So 4 times each line you repeat. I will initially say this. Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ananyashchintayanto mam. Ananyashchintayanto mam. Ananyashchintayanto mam. Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Ye janaah paryupasate.
Ye janaah paryupasate. Ye janaah paryupasate. Ye janaah paryupasate. Ye janaah paryupasate.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Why are you getting up like this? It's not good. Finish all your business earlier. Remain here. Try. Shall we go to the next verse? Huh? All these are assurances, promises from Krishna. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pradijane priyosi me. Earlier he asked Arjuna to swear on his behalf. Now he swears himself. What does he say? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. 934. Manmana bhava
Manmana bhava
madbhakto
madbhakto
manmana
manmana
bhava madbhakto
bhava madbhakto
manmana bhava madbhakto
manmana bhava madbhakto
madhyaji
madhyaji
mam namaskuru
mam namaskuru
mam namaskuru
mam namaskuru
madhyaji mam namaskuru
madhyaji mam namaskuru
mame vaishyasi
mame vaishyasi
satyam te
satyam te
pratijane
pratijane
priyosi me
priyosi me
pratijane priyosi me
pratijane priyosi me
manmana bhava madbhakto
manmana bhava madbhakto
madhyaji mam namaskuru
madhyaji mam namaskuru
mame vaishyasi satyam te
mame vaishyasi satyam te
pratijane priyosi me
pratijane priyosi me.
This is from 1865. You have showed a difference. None of you noticed one very late. Be attentive. Don't strain yourself. My words will automatically enter your eardrum, touch. So don't strain. Relaxingly be attentive. Manmana bhava. What? Don't practice devotion. Don't. Instead, become a devotee. What do you say? Huh? Suppose you are a devotee, whatever you do will be devotional. Devotion is an expression and extension of the devotee. So I would like you not to practice devotion, but I would like you to declare and feel in your own heart, I am a devotee. Will you do it? Mudima. Mudima. Don't practice devotion at all. Be a devotee. Therefore, whatever a devotee does is be a human, so that whatever you do will become human. So, manmana bhava. Become mentally thinking about me. Actually, the word is mentally be myself, what he says. When the mind starts getting devoted to God, that mind is no more a mind, it becomes devotional. Manmana bhava. How can you always think of God? When you become a devotee of God, all your thoughts will be revolving around God. Mad bhaktaha. Mad bhaktaha. Be a devotee of mind. Madhyaji. கவனிக்கிறேன்ப்பா நீங்கள் சொல்றது கவனிக்கிறீங்களா? Madhyaji. Madhyaji. Whatever you do, everything you do must be for my sake. Make it an offering to me. As you will offer, hey, நீ என்ன பண்றேம்மா? புஸ்தகத்தை மூடி வை. When I speak, you cannot look into the book. I can give you all copies of the book and ask you to read. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji. as you will ignite fire and the Homakunda, you will offer many materials. Every act that you do should be considered to be an offering to me. Can you do it or not? Is it not easier? See, you are stealthy, I think. Is it not easier? Yes or no?
Yes.
Then why you are keeping quiet?
Because Swamiji, if you make it as an offering, then where will we get the benefits? That's the fear in the mind, right?
That is in your mind, that's all. We are offering everything to God. When you go to the temple, what do? And you offer some little item whenever you go to the temple. Here Krishna says, make an offering of all that you do. If you can offer a little material to God, the same thing multiplied by many numbers will be all offering. So if the first is done, this also can be done. Where is the difficulty? Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. All that I want from you is a pranam. Express your humility before me. Recognize that you are relying on me, depending upon me, resting on me. The whole world is resting on me. A small part of the world, namely yourself, where will it rest? So what is our abode? What is our rest? What is our substratum? Who is the support? Understand this and be humble. Express your gratefulness and loyalty by a pranam. If you do this much, how much? Manmana bhava, madbhakto bhava, madhyaji bhava, mam namaskuru. 4 are the principles, disciplines. Think about me. Feel that you are a devotee of mine. Everything you do, make an unconditional offering to me and express your humility and respect before me. If you do this much, mame vaishyasi, you will attain me. You will attain me. Satyam te. This is the truth. There is no adulteration here. Te pratijane priyosime. I swear before you, Arjuna, you are dear to me. You are my beloved. You are my bosom friend. So I swear that if you do this much, you will attain me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pradijane priyosime. How do you react to these assurances, my dear souls? Do you like them? Yes. Can you draw inspiration from him?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Will it be an invigoration for you?
Yes.
Will it make you better?
Yes.
Feel strong?
Yes.
Confident?
Yes.
Unassailable?
Yes.
Invincible?
Yes.
Hanuman went to Lanka with a lot of difficulty. They somehow found him, and they started winding cloth around his tails and set fire to it. Hanuman found it to be very comfortable and easy. He started setting fire to everything. Many people went to catch hold of him, he did not. Finally he came. Ravana was seated in a huge simhasana, throne. And he was supposed to sit on the floor being a monkey. So he decided, no, I am the devotee of Lord Rama. Who is this Ravana before me? So he started rolling his tail. Cut, 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 cut. Here is the simhasana. Cut, 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 jumped over it and sat. Ravana had to look like this. What do you think of it, my dear souls? Can you write a book like this? Where is the imagination in you? All of you are suffering from mental poverty. Chitta daridryam. Where is the power and imagination to think like that? He himself showed the greatness of his master. So, what do you say? These are the assurances that make us good, noble, great, glorious, immortal, famous, invincible, unassailable, imperishable, undying, unborn, ever present, magnificent, superlatively great. Your body completes its growth at the age of 21. Thereafter it is declining. Tell me, where is the greatness then, if at all? It's only in your mind and the intelligence, nowhere else. And this is how you enrich, empower, elevate, enlighten and expand your mind. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me 4 times. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Shall I take up one more verse? Or shall I stop? Lift your hands. Okay. You know, human life is very complex. What? What are the consternations that you are likely to meet in human life can never be predicted. The world is even more complex. Our life itself is complex and the world is more complex. So the complex individual interacting with the complex world, can you imagine the complexity, how much it will be? So we will always have a lot of contradictions and conflicts about what we should do, what we have done, what will happen to, and so many different considerations. In all the democratic countries, we have parliaments, assemblies also. It is called a law-making body. What? Law-making body. 2 or 3 times in a year they assemble. And what do they do? Huh? You don't know. What do they do? Talk. They make laws. Every session has 1 or 2 bills to pass. They will look into the situation prevailing in the society, and whatever is the lacuna, to fill it, some bill or the other will be bought. Otherwise, they are supposed to discuss the affairs of the people of the state. How many laws are there? Human society cannot be regulated, reformed and refined except with the force and power of law. Law is what regulates our behavior, our interaction. In the name of duty, dharma, therefore, a number of pronouncements are there. To read all of them, to understand them, it is not at all easy. Ananta Shastram Khalu Veditavyam. Our Shastra is Ananta, endless. Khalu Veditavyam. There are many things to be known. Swalpascha Kalaha, Bhagavascha Vignaha. The time available is very short. Bhagavascha Vignaha. Obstacles are many. Therefore, what should be done? Yat Sarabhutam Tadupasitavyam. Try to understand the essence of all kinds of discipline, value, goal, restraint, moderation. Understand the essence of it. Yat sarabhutam tadupasidavyam, and practice it, pursue it. Hamsair yatha kshiram ivambu mishram. If you give a mixture of milk and water to the swan, Hamsa, it will suck the milk and leave the water for you. Like that, you must be able to suck the essence from all that you see, hear and read. That discrimination is very important. Good reading means elimination. Don't read. Eliminate. Get hold of the essence and contain it, put it into your mind and heart. So Krishna, towards the end, in the 18th chapter, makes a few summary propositions. Go to 1866, 18th chapter, 66th verse. Sarvadharman parityajya.
Sarvadharman parityajya.
Sarvadharman parityajya. Sarvadharman parityajya. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarvapapebhyo. Aham tva sarvapapebhyo. Aham tva sarvapapebhyo. Mokshayishyami. Ma shuchaha. Mokshayishyami. Ma shuchaha. Mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Top. What is this? Krishna discussed a number of subjects. Arjuna's primary requirement was, he was grief-stricken, deluded, ignorant, fearful and doubtful. So the grief, doubt, fear, ego, delusion, all of them were treated by Krishna. But the discussion did not stop there. All the philosophical allied systems of thought prevailing at the time, Krishna has introduced himself. Sometimes Arjuna asked him to discuss. Sometimes Arjuna sought, otherwise Krishna himself added. Like that, the whole of Bhagavad Gita, consisting of 700 verses, became a compendium. Many things are discussed there. Jnana is one, bhakti is one, karma is one, yoga is one. Many things are there. So finally, he consoles the mind of Arjuna, assures the mind of Arjuna by giving some assurances. The last assurance that you find here is Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Leave all codes and considerations. What? Do not worry about them at all. You may not have time. I want you to leave, rise above all petty, specific, general, particular, and other considerations. Is it right? Yes. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Seek refuge under me, the singular. Seek refuge under the one and leave all the rest. So what is this process, my dear souls? Our mind is thriving on plural considerations, manifold considerations. Leave the manifold, my dear Arjuna. In their place, install one. Is it not easy? Huh?
Yes.
Are you going to retain thousands of items? Or is it easy to remember only one and remain fixed on it? Seek refuge under me, the only one. Sharanam Vraja. It must be in the form of a dependence and seeking refuge under. If you do so, aham tvam, I shall, I will, sarva papebhyo, all kinds of sin, mokshayishyami, I will free you, liberate you, save you from all kinds of sin. Ma shuchaha. My dear Arjuna, grieve not. What do you think of it? You tell me, is spirituality easy or hard?
Easy.
Huh?
Easy.
Boliye na. Very easy, Baba. Sarva dharman parityajya. Leave all kinds of consideration. If you go into our Smriti Granthas, you will find one after the other many. Manusmriti, Parashara Smriti, Vyasa Smriti, Bodhayana Smriti, Parashara Smriti, so many. And one will be different from the other. How many gods are there? 33 crores. When are you going to install them fully and worship them? Huh? Shall I tell you a story? It is not a story, it is an instance that took place in Kerala. My father narrated to me. There was a Nambudiri family called Kattumadam. He was worshipping 333 gods and goddesses. Every time he will worship, and for every god he will make something like quarter liter of rice cooked, and they will put it on a leaf like that, like a ball, and it will be kept ready. So one after the other he used to offer to 300 and odd deities. It will take quite some time. One day a brahmacharin from Tamil Nadu had gone to their house. So they are all very hospitable. Whoever comes, they will feed. But they will feed according to their own discipline, that's all. So this brahmacharin had gone there. He was waiting and waiting. He was not fed. He felt hungry. So he took 2 of them and ate. So this Nambudiri started worshipping, and at last he found 2 are missing. He called all the deities, said, search him and find out. So they went. Initially they went out and searched, nobody was there. Finally they found a young boy lying on the ground and sleeping. So they found this must have been the person. So they wanted to lift him up and take to their master. But when they approached him, burning hot, they could not approach the body. They came and reported to the master saying that there is one person lying there, he is sleeping. We wanted to bring him here, but when we approached, we were not able to approach, burning hot. He got disillusioned. He went there, gently tapped him, awakened him, and prostrated before him, and asked him, my dear sir, please tell me, what is the power that you have? Something is there, incredible, imperceptible. What is there? He said, there is no power. But I do my Gayatri Japa every day scrupulously, ever since I got my sacred thread. That's all what I did. Now you tell me the 333 gods or one Gayatri mantra taken to with assiduous devotion, which is superior? This is the truth. Sarva dharman parityajya. Suppose you read about and hear about many dharmas, will you not be confused? Yes. Huh? Yes. Even if you have, say, 4 or 5 children, I am sure that you will find affinity with 2 or 3 and disaffinity with one. You will not speak about it, but inside the heart it will be there. So this differentiation will not work at all. We must understand that the entire world is equally divine. There is only one divine presence. And think of only one, only one, only one, only one. When you think of only one, that is pervading everywhere, and what you say as I is also itself. So you are saying I. No more nama is required. The I itself is the first personal reference to the supreme reality present everywhere in you also. The I does not refer to the body, to the mind, to the intelligence, to the ego. It refers only to the inmost presence in us, which is no other than the divine omnipresence. Get focused there. Focus there. There are people who will say, somebody is there and he will know. You should stop this habit. There is only one person, and put your palm on your chest. Or you say like this. The only place where you can contact divinity, God, is in your heart, not anywhere else. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva pabebhyo mokshayishyami ma shujaha. Sarvadharman parityajya
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य
मामेकं शरणं व्रज
मामेकं शरणं व्रज
अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो
अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
Have you got it? Now you recite 4 times. Sarvadharman parityajya
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य
मामेकं शरणं व्रज
मामेकं शरणं व्रज मामेकं शरणं व्रज मामेकं शरणं व्रज मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो
अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
The more and more you read our Shastras, the more and more conflicts and contradictions you will encounter. And the reading itself will make your mind and heart oscillate, vacillate. So you should not be moved by hearing conflicting accounts. There is altogether only one. If it is altogether only one and it is pervading everywhere, tell me what you are. Are you not that one? Yes. Huh? Yes. Can there be any other? No. So bury forever all dwell or plural considerations. When you dispense with all plural considerations, all differential notions, and the mind is gripped with only one singular notion, that itself is liberation. You are considered bound because you are there and something else is there to bind you. When your understanding becomes clear, the mind also is clear that only one is there. Can the one bind itself? Huh? No. Can space bind itself? No. Can fire bind itself? No. Can water bind itself? No. Then what is it? So is it that you are going to be liberated or you are going to be enlightened that there is no bondage? நான் புரியறதா உங்களுக்கு சொல்றது இல்லை போல் இருக்கு. Are you going to be liberated from a bondage? Or true liberation consists in understanding that there is no bondage. This is the point. We always pursue the goal of liberation as if it is at a distance and we start running. No. I ask 4 people to be ready for running. All of them stand. When I say 1, 2, 3, you should proceed to where I am indicating. Then I tell them, reach where you stand. Huh? Reach? So do you have to run? In a very good intelligence test, a questionnaire was given consisting of 10 questions. The first line says, before attempting to answer, read all questions. But when they started reading, many people started writing because they knew the questions. So when they went on reading and reading and reading, the 9th line says, now that you have read all the 9 questions, you only have to answer the next. And in the next line written, now that you have come to the last question, no answer is required. This is how we are deluded. Understand it? Our Shastras are wonderful. It is just like peeling an onion. Suppose you peel off, what will be inside? It has no kernel inside. Similarly, this is the truth. You have the body, you have the mind, you have the intelligence, you have the ego. But beyond all these is a presence where no action ever takes place and no effect ever befalls. It is like the pith of a tree. What? I don't know whether you have seen the pith of trees. Have you ever seen? The tree is very strong. Some of the trees produce wood which can last for centuries. The other day somebody showed us a pillar which was already 400 years old. 400 years old. The tree itself would not have lasted for that much time. They would have cut it before that. So the pith of the tree is actually a liquid. And that liquid is getting transformed into the trunk, into the branches, into everything. It is unlike the trunk. Similarly, inside us, like the pith of a tree, we have a presence. That presence is what you call the soul or the self, consciousness. That is what you denote by the term I. It is totally unlike the body, matter body, unlike the emotional mind, rational intelligence, assertional ego. It is something different. That is the truth. Now this truth can be approached only when you abandon the notion of plurality or manyness. Abandon it and rest on the one. One God, one soul, present everywhere, nothing besides Him. I can best realize Him in my own heart. He is what I denote by the term I. When you say I, no further reference to God is necessary. I itself is the only unmistakable, indisputable reference. Will you be able to think like this and remain firm? Yes. How many days will you take? You have chanted 4 times? Yes. Okay. If there is another satsang, I would like to take one more verse from the 18th chapter, and in addition, I would like to teach you 2 important Sanskrit verses which will enable you to remain unruffled. To remain unruffled when? Unruffled when others blame you, criticize you, ridicule you. Everybody is very much upset. He said this, she said this. He said something wrong, why are you grieving? If he said what he said is correct, prostrate before him. Oh, what you have said is correct, I find I am wrong, please excuse me. So express your gratitude. If what he said is wrong, why are you worried? Let him worry. Are you able to sit like this? He has blamed. He has blamed. There are some people who will say, I have seen, oh, he said that. I am keeping it in my heart. Only when the body is burned, it will disappear. The man who said it has forgotten. This man is remembering. Is there any greater nonsense? Can you imagine? So let anybody say anything. It is good. Blaming people will blame you. Praising people will praise you. You know what I say? People who want to praise, let them praise. People who want to blame, let them blame. I must be present equally in both. If I am only praiseworthy, what about the blaming people? I will be distanced from them. So they must find something to blame me. They blame me because they are given to blame. They praise me because they are given to praise. I am nobody there. So you must become stoic, heroic, unshakable. Unshakable like the firmaments. Our psychology can be built up, cultured, reformed, refined, stabilized, enriched, empowered to remain unshakable. This is what we mean by inner resources development. Our IRD is a great proposition. I would like every one of you to speak with 1,000 mouths about inner resources development. IRD. They have developed 2 programs here. One is I Can for the younger students, another is 3+3 for the elderly students. I think these programs should be taken to wherever it is possible, and the whole of Malaysia should start beaming with a new pulsation. The Hindu society should be reinforced. I understand that half the people in our prisons are Indians and Hindus. What is this? Why are we all here? Can you not feel for the others? Even tribals are doing well in India. Bharat Sevashram Sangh takes some tribal children. They are taken as residential students. The tribals would not spare them, but they have endeared themselves to them. Finally they gave. And some of the students, they say they score 100% in mathematics, first generation education. Everybody has got the same body, the same mind, the same intelligence and the same ego. Why are we not able to access them and harness them? Those people who understand, I think it is your responsibility to become vocal, eloquent, appealing to the others, telling them about the hidden inner resources of the mind and the heart. Everyone should become a Hanuman. A Hanuman. A Hanuman. How he fulfilled his mission. How heroically, how enviously he fulfilled. What do you think? In Ramayana, we have got a section called Sundara Kanda. It's all about Hanuman. People read that section whenever they have to achieve something great and glorious. Like Hanuman, they will be successful. They will be successful. To give you inspiration, nothing will give you inspiration. You have to generate it. Generate it. Generate it from your mind, from your heart, from your intelligence. Human life is meant for that. Any input coming from the world, the mind is capable of assimilating. When assimilated, it becomes an enrichment, an empowerment, an enlightenment, an elevation, an expansion. The whole of Bhagavad Gita is a psycho-intellectual science. It's a psycho-intellectual science. We have no time. The date for our departure has come. Otherwise, I would like to tell you how the psychological and intellectual structures of our personality are clearly identified by Krishna and revealed, unraveled one after the other to Arjuna. How did Arjuna become doubt-free and bold enough to take the bow and arrow and fight for 18 days and win the war? He pleaded that he was dull. All that disappeared in 2.5 hours. And Arjuna became bold, confident, heroic and unassailable. Every one of you can become this. You should always explain the context of Bhagavad Gita. With 13 years of preparation, Arjuna came to the battlefield to fight the war. And looking at Bhishma, Drona and his own kith and kin, he crumbled, totally crumbled. There was nobody to revive him. The horses cannot speak. Chariot was wood. Only the charioteer was there, Krishna. He was holding the reins in one hand, turning back and talking to Arjuna. Can you do it? For 2.5 hours? আমি বলছি Ma has given me a note which says that there is a little time before dinner. It comes very handy for us. Inner resources development. We are not impatient or resentful about it. It's a very good occasion. I wanted you to be introduced to these two concepts. The I can and the 3+3. Isn't it?
3+3 for me and Ramakrishna not there.
Oh.
Is the Bhagavad Gita for youth.
Bhagavad Gita for youth. About these, two of them will speak. Sita Lakshmi will talk about the I Can program, which has been put to about more than 1,000 students. Sita, come.
Pranam Swamiji. Pranam. Pranam Sma and Jai Guru to everybody. Okay, this is suddenly we've been put here to speak about I can, so I can. Okay, so basically this I can project is designed targeting children from the age of 9 to 12. Why this specific age? Because we feel, like for example, I think all of us, even the children could relate. Sometimes when they are at the age of 9, 10, and let's say suddenly Swamiji spoke about somebody scoring in mathematics. Okay, let's just keep mathematics. You know, sometimes when they study mathematics and the subject becomes very difficult, they will find initially mathematics is difficult. But after some time, what will happen? They would take an identity about themselves saying, I can't do mathematics. Would you agree this happening to children? And it also happened to us, where initially when we are unable to do something, we have an idea, oh, that's difficult and everything. But after some time, that some sort takes like an identity to ourselves that I can't do that. So what we are doing is, through I Can, we create activity to change the platform of the children. What platform? From I can't, I cannot, I am unable to do it, I am not good, I am all this, to a platform, hey, I can. All I have to do is I have to try. But the very base of that very doingness itself is I can. So what are we doing is we are creating activity where the very realization of these children can be tapped for them to understand I can, and for them to experience confidence within them. When we speak about confidence, we feel like if, let's say, we have practiced something so many times, and then we go out to speak a speech or anything, let's say we have practiced it, and we feel like, okay, I had enough practice, now I can do it, I'm very confident. Is that the confident that are we talking here? No. The confidence that we are talking here through this I can activity is, you may not have any experience. You don't have to do anything. You might be a very zero knowledge into whatever that you're going to do. But the very beginning, the very base of our own self, it's the I confident itself. So basically this is recognizing the inner resources. We are developing the inner resources. We are using activities like arts, games, drama, and all sort of interesting activities for children, for them to use their senses, and by using their senses, they could realize their inner resources. So the result of it is, they should be able, those who are unable to do public speaking, those who feel like, I'm unable to do something in this subject, all this kind of changes we actually saw through these I can activities. So these I can activities, it's comes in few stages. First stages is for them to recognize all that. The students will be having activities to understand themselves better. Then they'll be brought to understand, are they alone in this society? Like how Swamiji always say, if we don't make this whole thing as an individual, but we are actually the whole society. So from thinking, this is my book, this is my eraser, this is mine, 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 they are broadened up to a bigger identity of them. Through this I can, we have seen children who are performing very poor in academic, started achieving, and we have seen students with behavior problems, they started showing the change, the transformation of personality taking places. And the most beautiful part is they started realizing, I'm not empty inside. What is inside me, it's beautiful and it's fully potential. So that part of the thing is tapped and recognized and the fire is put into it, I think they are ready to rock the world by saying, I can. So this is the best I can do now. I hope I've delivered the message. And yes, Swamiji. Yes. When we started this in a very small group of students in Bukit in Kerling, Tamil school. So we initially started in a small group, but we had a privilege of whole 1 year. It was a pilot project when we started, and since we saw a good result from them, we expanded to schools. And since the age category is 9 to 12, so we started to do this with Tamil school first. So we have done this in a couple of Tamil schools, and then we have gone to some spiritual centers, and we have also handled some children homes and all kind of things. And I would like to share this one boy at the age of 14. He's 14 and he has gone through a very rough things in his life where he realized that there's no reason for me to go to school, there's no reason for me to leave, and he has been rejected by family and also by society. And he feels, what is the point of me being here? So he's basically, we could say, he's empty. But through this I can activity, he has inspired us when he came and told us, I know what is in me. And I'm going to school, I'm getting up so happily, I'm going to school. I found a beautiful purpose for my life in this world. And I think that's beautiful. Swamiji, I didn't prepare. This is the best I could. This is the first that comes to me when I think about I can, because something recent. So I think I think it's two-way thing here. We do something for them and they inspire us. So, this kind of change is taking place. Because I'm also counselor. So through this counselor, I've seen students scoring very high in exam. But they are inside here. They are unable to see what is their inner resources. And we have seen people with breach background. Sometimes we feel like this inferior comes only from students from B40 category or anything. Actually, it's not. That sense of knowing what is in me, and what kind of potential am I. If that part is tapped, I think we will have a beautiful future for them to live and for us also. So that's I Can is all about. I have gone to Bukit Jalil Tamil School and also one school in Ipoh. And the schools, some of the students are associated with organizations. So I've gone to those organizations.
But you said 1,000 students.
Yeah, in total, Swamiji. Total of this 4 to 5 years.
It was uniformly effective.
All together.
Very good. Something very, very creditable. Anuprita, come. She will speak about the Bhagavad Gita for youth.
Hello, right. Jai Guru, I am Anuprita. So actually I am a student of the Bhagavad Gita youth class in SIRD. So how it began was that actually I was looking for something where it was something like a talk like this was easy to understand. Because when I joined SIRD, I was very young. So I could not understand the talks that was going on. So what happened is that in SIRD, they initiated we should have a youth class. So the class started in the old center, pre-pandemic, and there was only 4 students. So that 4 students was me, my sister Renu, Kavineshwar and Jnaneshwar. So initially we thought, okay, maybe this is something we should discuss among ourselves. So we tried doing this on our own. And as we go on, we realized that we don't have enough understanding of the Bhagavad Gita for us to have a proper discussion. So I remember bringing this up to Dr. Sharina and also Dr. Jnanavelan. And what they decided is like, okay. Yes, please stand up. Dr. Jnanavelan is inside there. Right? Yeah. So I brought this to them and they said, okay, we will try to lead the class. And as things progress, we realized that there is a need for a module, and then Dr. Sana, she's not here at the moment, but she came into the picture to create a beautiful module for us. So as class progressed, during COVID, the class was shifted online. So how these modules are designed is that they actually utilize these Bhagavad Gita verses and make it so easy to understand, and it's very practical. So, for example, one of it is like the topic of Loka Sangraha, right? Doing good things for the benefit of others. So, how this concept was taught to us is that we made it into example like bite-sized information. Okay, so what are you doing for others in a daily basis? Are you helping your parents? Are you helping your friends in need? Okay, by helping your friends in need, maybe they did not take your advice. How did you respond? So simple things like that, the practicality was discussed, and it really benefited me a lot. And as time passed by, I also realized by learning this, I was able to regulate how I feel better. I was able to have better interactions. At one point of time, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, So by learning this and through weekly discussion and inquiry, we were able to even find solutions to our problems. So that's how it has progressed so far. So right now the classes are held online on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. for an hour. So the classes will usually begin with the teaching, okay, so what the Bhagavad Gita is teaching us, and then later on we will progress with the sloka chanting and understanding of the sloka. So right now there is around 10 participants. Is it 10? Oh, 8 students. And because it is online, there were also students from other parts of Malaysia, from Kedah, who are participating. There are also students from other countries like Germany who are also participating. So I only hope that this continues to go on and there's more students coming in to learn the Bhagavad Gita with me as well. Thank you.
It is very, very it is very, very interesting, encouraging and also enlightening that Doctors Jnanavelan and Sharina, they have taken this up and they have succeeded in putting it across to the youth minds. Something. Now what I would like to enjoin on all concerned is, within the next few months, you must be able to instill interest in Bhagavad Gita. You have seen how I am teaching, how all of you are responding. I am extremely happy that you are able to recite it. I have not individually tested, but I have been observing how the voice comes from all of you, each one of you. So I am very happy. Let us fix a target of at least 100 students or even elders put together. They must be able to chant. Tell me, how many chapters you will be able? All is our ideal, but that will be to begin with. At least let the first, second chapter be? First and second chapters or second chapter alone? Huh? Second and third. 2 chapters should be recited uniformly, preferably by heart. Many of you have a brain, but you would have no understanding of your brain. You know, there are children of the age of 6 and 8. They can chant the whole of Vishnu Sahasranama. You ask them to chant it from bottom to top, they will do it. Ask them, what is the 72nd verse? The children simply speak that this is the verse. Faster than the computer. What do you think of the human brain? Instances like dementia, Alzheimer's disease, etc. will not be there. It's a wonderful stimulation, invigorating to the brain. Why don't you use it? What prevents you, I don't understand. Are we not wise? Are we not discreet? I think all of you should persuade your children before they grow old to come and participate in these programs. Every one of you should come, spend your time in this SIRD and repeatedly speak about inner resources development. IRD. Say that. IRD. 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 Inner resources development. Let me ask you, even the best person, do you know your brain can by heart the whole of Bhagavad Gita? In America, 1,300 and odd people chanted Bhagavad Gita by heart. And the director of Guinness Book, he had come there to record it. What is it that you think? We are also eating, we are also living. Why not we understand the resource our mind and brain hold within themselves? The entire Vedas were taught only by uttering. Nothing was written. Nothing was written. If you go to a Vedic scholar and ask him, how did you learn? He will say, I learned it from my teacher. Go to the teacher and ask him, how did you learn? From my teacher. Nobody knows the first teacher. Everybody has learned it from the teacher. Nothing from writing. Can you imagine a civilization which has survived for such a long time? In one generation, if there were no people to learn and to teach, the whole link would have been broken, but it has not been broken. This is the beauty of India.
Swamiji, she will talk about the children's class. On children's cultural heritage class also goes on. So,
Subhashini,
I
let
can
her speak.
Pranam Swamiji, Pranam Sma, and Jai Guru to everyone. Here in SRID, we do have children's program. We don't call it children class because it's not a class. It's even more than that. It is called Cultural Heritage for Children. What type of cultural? Our ancient culture, our Indian culture. The culture has been established which has a lot of science, meaning. It's not just magics, it's not about something that you pray and you have to cry and you have to do all kind of austerities. It's not that. But what we do in our class is that we encourage children from age 5 onwards until 12 years old. And we have this class in 3 cycles. So each cycle is 10 weeks. Once they have completed the 1 cycle, we will have like a mini performance. So whatever they have learned, they will actually do a performance. So for example, recently the children were introduced to Vishnu Sahasranamam, but it's not the whole Vishnu Sahasranamam, the invocation sloka of Vishnu Sahasranamam. It was amazing to see how they learn slokas faster than I do. Alright, it was just like a magic. In the beginning, this program is also been mentored and guided by Dr. Swarnalata, Datin Dr. Swarnalata. She comes up with a module. Together with her, we will actually do the whole class. And for the very beginning, it was quite, we have different type of students who can catch up slokas very well, who are very good in Tamil language. There are also students who are coming from English background, so they have an English accent, So you will notice that, hey, what is happening? That kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it is so beautiful to see how all of them is able to chant by just listening and memorizing. And they show a lot of enthusiasm to go back and to do it, and they come back. So I'd like to share about 2 students. One of it is actually Reneshan. He is someone who have some difficulty in terms of learning. Right? So, and he was given a character to play, quite an important character. And it was great to see how he actually memorizes the whole play, and he was doing it with a lot of expression and so on. Alright? And it came to a point that he came and told me, teacher, why didn't I say this? Lines. There are 2 lines that I did not say. Oh, is it? I myself forgot. So it's that beautiful. And I also have students who, we are currently doing it online. So we have students where they have difficulty of internet connection. So they will be on and off. So we feel a bit sorry. What is this? How is he going to do? But you will be amazed. That child actually did the best. So this is the beauty of this cultural heritage for children. Alright? There is no limitation. There is openness in them. There are 2 of our children who are also here, Ovian and Ovia. Alright? Thank you. Come, turn.
show your faces.
Mask, kaltu. Huh? Show. Namaskaram. Alright. So, like Ovian, sit. When Ovian came, he was just very young, 4 years old. And the mom asked, can we send? I said, just come, let him sit. We do not know what kind of absorption they will get. And he will sit, then he will play around, he will go around, and I will be like stressing out, oh my God, what's going to happen, But today, just look at him. He's able to sit. Right? He's standard 1, 2, he's standard 1, and he's able to sit. That is so amazing. This is what cultural heritage for children can do for you. So please inform your friends, please inform more, because we really we have seen the success of it. So we would like to have more children to come over here. Jai Guru. Thank you.
See, I have been visiting Malaysia for the past 42 years. I first came in 1972. There was a gap in between. The visa was not available. There was some technical, some kind of an error was there. Except for the 8 years, 72 means 28, 22, 50 minus 8 will be 42. 42 years I have been visiting Malaysia, spending some time. Sometimes a month, otherwise a few weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. I have developed a lot of concern for the society here, the Hindu society. This is something that I would like you to feel for. I am in a way restless in the matter of imbuing some strength, inspiration, aspiration in the minds of the people. I am not interested in talking to them in a manner that they all become sannyasins or ascetics. That is not the message. Bhagavad Gita's message is one of being efficient in your action and activity. All of you can only do 2 things in this life. Do you know that? Either you sleep or you remain wakeful. All your activities are within the wakefulness nature and our own system provide. If you are not wakeful and active, you sleep. You cannot do anything more than this. Only the 2 are available. Either you sleep or remain active. So without activity, nobody can sleep. So there is no choice before us. For 1020 minutes, you have to remain wakeful, active and interactive. So all our philosophy, all our message, all our inspiration is to ask people to remain active. And in so doing, you must be efficient. Efficient. Performancial efficiency should be the first and last consideration. With a constricted mind, you cannot perform well. When the mind is expansive, imagine how better your performance will be. Why not we enthuse these children to come out of their delusion? Let us instill. I don't say it can be done in one day for all the people here, but we should try. I always say Rome was not built in a day, but the building did begin one day and it was completed also. So this is a call that I give you. I am concerned with the society here. Everywhere you will find, any society, human society, has to be led. Not all are societal or social thinkers. A few alone will have the fortune to think about the society. The leaders are few and the led are many. When the leader is there, people will begin to follow. They will not be able to make a leader. That leading role, only some minds are capable of thinking like that. So I would like you to think very seriously about, now that we have a geographical place where we can think, discuss, plan, execute, etc. And when larger gathering is there, we will look for a better accommodation. SIRD had convened a kind of a meeting where 800 people had come. It was a half-day program. Similarly, I would like you to conduct a national program. Secondly, and definitely, the time we come again, perhaps after a year or so, Nutun Swamiji will come in the month of January as usual and conduct a retreat session, besides other programs. I think all of you should take serious interest. At least for my sake, please feel for the society. I agree that you have your family consisting of 3 or 4. But your family is a member of the society, social segment. And every social segment is a member of the nation. And nations constitute the globe. So I think you cannot keep away the concern for the society from your mind. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. One should be interested in the welfare of all beings upon the earth. That is the ideal for man. Not to remain constricted and only a family person. Where is your family? Can you show anywhere in this world one family of 4 people living alone? Huh? The dress that you wear is made by others. The food that you eat is grown by the others. The air that you breathe is coming from nature. Where is the question of an individual being alone? We are linked to the society. I always say, when you step outside the boundary of your house, where are you placing your feet? You are placing it on the footpath of the road or the road. They don't belong to you at all. So, bury your idea that I and my family alone will be all right. Not at all. Not at all. As you think of yourself, by the time you grow, you should start thinking about the others also. And this is a contribution that I think we should make. Try. I want a plan of action to be evolved by the SIRD people, all of you joining together. A plan of action which you will be undertaking for the sake of upliftment of the society. Shall we stop? Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tats. Samvedyavarjitamanuttamamegamadyam Samvitpadam Vikalanam Kalayan Mahatman Hridyevatishta Kalanarahida Kriyam tu Kurvan Akartrapadametya Samodidashri Kurvan Akartrapadametya Samodidashri. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi. We shall have the conclusional Onkara. Take your pose for it. One time. In chorus. Oh